Alright, let's talk about something Samsung fans have been quietly begging for. And honestly, it's about time. After years of playing it safe, Samsung might finally be waking up and doing something fresh with its Ultra series, starting with the battery. Now let's just be real for a second. Since the S20 Ultra dropped in 2020, Samsung has been recycling the same 5,000 milliamps. Battery and 45 W charging setup like it's a family heirloom. That's 5 years. 5 years of zero upgrades. But the latest leaks? They say the Galaxy S26 Ultra could finally be breaking that dusty old pattern. But before the deep dive into the video, a quick reality check. Over 98% of you watching right now aren't subscribed. That's wild. Hitting that button doesn't just grow this channel. It genuinely keeps me motivated to keep digging, scripting, and dropping the best leaks and updates before anyone else. If you made it this far, chances are you're into it. So why not make it official? Thanks, and let's dive in. Word is Samsung's bumping the battery up to 5,500 milliamps and pushing charging speeds to 65 watts. That's not just a tiny tweak. We're talking about a 10% bigger battery and roughly 45% faster charging. In tech years, that's practically a revolution. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Despite the upgrade, the S26 Ultra might actually be thinner than the S25 Ultra. I know, sounds like black magic, right? Bigger battery, slimmer phone. What's the catch? Well, there's a twist, because of course there is. While Leaker Chun is all in on the battery and charging boosts, the ever-cautious ICE universe claims it's still the same old 5,000 milliamps setup. So either we're getting something exciting, or Samsung's pulling a classic Samsung and playing it super safe. Personally, I'm rooting for both, a bigger battery and faster charging. But if we're being honest, Samsung has a habit of giving us one and pretending it's a breakthrough. Now let's shift gears to performance because there's some spicy stuff happening under the hood. The S26 lineup is expected to debut with Qualcomm's brand new Snapdragon 8 Gen 4, or as they're calling it, the Snapdragon 8 Elite 2, launching around September 2025. But here's the kicker. Samsung isn't just slapping the regular chip in. Nope. They're getting it for Galaxy exclusive version again, just like last time. And according to ICE Universe, this special version's prime core is clocked at 4.74 GHz. That's up from 4.47 GHz, a modest 6% boost. Nothing earth-shattering, but still a nice bump on paper. Now this next bit's kind of a plot twist. Samsung isn't making the chip themselves. They're reportedly outsourcing it to TSMC using their 3nm process. That's a big deal, especially considering how, let's just say, hot things got when Samsung tried to manufacture the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1. Yeah, if you know, you know. And while Samsung is apparently still working on its own Exynos 2600, don't expect it to show up in the Ultra. Maybe it'll power the standard S26 or S26, plus in select regions, but that's still very much up in the air. Quick design tidbit before we wrap. The S26 Ultra might go on a diet, slimming down to under 8mm thick, compared to 8.2mm on the S25 Ultra. Sounds sleek, right? But now the real question is, can they squeeze in that bigger battery without cutting corners? Fingers crossed. So here's the million-dollar question. Would you rather have a thinner phone that looks slick in your hand or a beastly battery that actually makes it through a day and a half without begging for a charger? Let me know down below. And if you're hyped for what the S26 Ultra might bring, or just here for the drama, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. We've got more leaks, more rumors, and probably a few more surprises on the way. Catch you in the next one. Stay curious and stay charged.